Was it by choice that you gave up the sport, or tell me that story?
Yeah, it wasn't by choice. It was more like a survival mode. That's what it was for me after I left Calabar. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I cried for 2 months to come back home after I went to college in Arizona, because everything, it was a culture shock for me. Right, the food was different, the training was different, and not only that, it was so far away. I mean, it wasn't like it was from Miami or Atlanta or even New York. I would take that trip. Arizona, I went to school. I got a scholarship in Arizona, a place called Central Arizona College. A lot of relationship between the coach there and Earl McKinley. So a lot of Calabar kids go to there. And then after that, we branched off to major universities. I didn't like it there, but it was a good sporting school because a lot of the kids that I run with in the World Juniors, they went there. So we were one of the fastest college. I mean, the slowest guy on the team, I think he run like 10.3. And that was me.
So why didn't it work? Why didn't it work for you?
It didn't work because it culture wise, it was nothing there culture wise. I mean, the running was there, right? But what happened is I went from running to add two additional stuff, right? I had to work, right? Because the scholarship wasn't a full ride scholarship. So I had to earn, I think, something like 20% more. So I had to work, and that was like work, and then I have to go to school, That kind of took a toll on me in the sense of managing my tasks on a daily basis. After a while, then I ended up getting hurt, right? And then once I got hurt, then I'm like, okay, this is not good, So I went into, honestly, like a little slightly depression because I'm saying, I'm seeing these guys making the team in Jamaica that I've beaten, and these guys making trips to Jamaica. I can't make a trip to Jamaica to run on anything because, for one, I couldn't afford it for that far. And two, I was told to stay, stay there. There's nothing in Jamaica for me. Stay here, get a good education, and better yourself. So it's more like a culture shock than anything else. And then I switched mode from sports to trying to get that paper and move on.
Yeah, let me tell you something, Daniel. A lot of us pine over you, including myself. I was one of them pining. When are we going to see Daniel? Are we going to see Daniel England come? Let me tell you, Jamaican fans talk about you for years, many, many, many years, including myself. How is it that we're not seeing him come to a trials?
Right.
And my heart was broken. I'm going to tell you, as a track fan, my heart was broken because I'm saying, yes, here we have one for the future of either the 200 or the 400 meter. And let me tell you, I asked about you for decades. I was like, where is Daniel England? And here we are today. I mean, did you ever have an Olympic dream? I'm going to assume that all athletes dream about competing at the Olympics. Did you have that dream?
Oh yeah. I mean, once you step on Calabar atmosphere, I think most student athletes at the time, want to be on a plane. We call it a plane. You want to make that plane trip. That was my goal. My goal was trying to make at least a Jamaican team. And once that didn't happen, between me and you, I went to a whole depressed mode, because I'm like, here, I have the talent, right? And due to financial burden, I couldn't make it because I'm so far away. I mean, at the time, I think the plane ticket was like $720 at the time. And I only raised like maybe $450.
So what about a support group? Did you like reach out to the J3As and said, look?
No, because you didn't know. You didn't know. I think the recommendation was, if you find your way there, they will find your way back. So try to get a one-way ticket to the island, and then we were trying to find your way back. But it was not a two-way ticket, you know. And as kids, that's one thing, you know, and I will explain that later on in your show. That's one thing I was never taught, right? How to even buy a plane ticket, much less how to organize yourself in a way that, you know, you can make that transition as an adult. You know, I was never taught that. I had to learn the hard way how to be adult on campus, how to be how to survive. And honestly, that's all I was doing over the years, was how to survive the system itself, because I was never taught how to do it. You know, so yeah.
And this is one of the problems that people like me have with the federation, because I'm saying we know who the athletes are and we know who some of the superior talents are. And if you see an athlete not turning up for trials, why are we not reaching out to find out what is happening with your career? Because in your case, it would have been easy for someone to reach out and said, look, Daniel England needs to get a plane ticket to come to the trials to make the team to compete for Jamaica, because we knew who you were while you were competing at the high school level. Right.
And that comes in that come from no roadmap or no program for a situation like for Daniel. You know, that program didn't exist in a sense of grassroots, in a sense of let's groom these potential athletes, right? Let's keep a track of them. You know, let's find out how they're doing. You know, no one ever did that.
No one reached out to you to find out what was going on?
No one did that. No one did that.
No, I'm crying. I'm crying inside. No,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I went to depressed mode because I couldn't believe that was going on, you know.
I am crying inside. Right, I'm talking to you right now and my eyes are teary because this is something I've seen it happen before. I've heard about it, and I'm like, why is it that we need a system to keep in touch with the athletes when they go overseas to study, especially if it is an athlete that you think or you know that has future potential. Find out what is happening. You missed the trials last year. Why are we not seeing you this year? And if it's a case where we need to fly you home, I'm not saying we're going to do it for everybody, but I'm sure there are situations where we might have one or two athletes who are not able to pay their way home to make the team, to compete. And I don't know. This breaks my heart.
It does at the time, and that's what you're feeling now is what I felt back then, you know, because here I'm saying is, you know, I think I'm a good athlete, you know, I think I belong, you know, and here you're like, okay, what do I do? You know, what do I do? But there is no roadmap of that kind of transition. There's no say, okay, if you fall by the roadside, you know, call this person, you know, and even when you call persons, they say, let me get back to you, right? Let me get back to you. But I think back then it was like, you know, if you're not within Miami, if you're not in reach at the time, I think the support was pretty much on your own.